Hey, now you forgot to hit the live button.
Oh my God, I am sorry. This is awful.
Hi guys, we just forgot to hit the live button. That's all.
Me and Pete were talking offline. Sorry about that, fellas. I won't be broadcasting this podcast, that's for sure.
You missed the whole
This
first
ain't
segment.
no
Everybody's
video.
gonna have to do it again.
Oh, there we are. Okay, we're there. Guys, that was 100% my fault. I didn't hit the go live button for some godforsaken reason. I was enamored with this golden Indian gentleman staring at me. Oh my God. That's funny, Clark. No refunds for you.
Well, we did a whole segment to ourselves.
Oh my God. Guys, you missed the opening, you missed everything. So let's go back to the breaking news, okay? Because our audience missed that.
Okay, yeah.
Gentlemen, it has been verified by anonymous sources. You know what that means. You know what that means. That one David Stern / Steve Cohen are closet Angie Angles fans. And let me tell you the reason why. Who's our DH tonight? That's right. If you said Brandon Nimmo, you win. Angie's Angles have been screaming to make Nimmo your freaking DH, especially last week when I spoke about Duran. I said if we go and get Duran, Taylor moves to left, Duran in center, Nimmo to the DH spot. And what happens today? Introducing Brandon Nimmo as your DH.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, I'm so out of sorts. And maybe I'm out of sorts because I'm on vacation mode, because tomorrow starts the 11-day vacation for me. And God knows I need it from work.
Well, you earned it, buddy. And let me make my point again that I was making about Nimmo. He's completely changed the player he was. He used to be an on-base machine, a situational hitter. His on-base percentage used to average at 375, 395, sometimes over 4. It's now at 320, and he's had 15 home runs and a ton of strikeouts. You said before we got on the air, the Mets told him to change that, but I think he's also trying to justify the big contract. He's trying to be something he's not. He has to go back to being the situational hitter, on-base machine he used to be. I need 50 runs from him at the break, not 15 home runs.
Yeah, he for sure, right? He's on pace for 25 home runs. And while I'm a big home run guy, my buddy Kevin down in Hollywood, Florida, Kevin Lennox, is not a home run guy. He thinks they're underrated.
Me too.
He thinks they're overrated.
Me too.
Yeah, I disagree, Pete. I think the home run is your power statement to the other team that don't make a mistake because we'll take you deep.
Yeah, but it should be just key guys, not everybody in the lineup, just key guys that do that. Nimmo needs to go back to the player he used to be. When he was getting on base all the time, he was much more valuable to the team than the 15 home runs.
Yeah, you're not wrong with that comment, Pete. We also talked about the Mets, how the Mets are the ugly red-headed stepbrother in the corner when it comes to the Atlanta Braves. We could be playing the Atlanta Braves midgets, the Pee Wee League, even. Well, I won't try to insult people, but no matter who the Braves throw at us, we're inept. We can't beat even with leads. If we get the leads or we get some offense and some good pitching, it crumbles. And lately. And Kevin Lennox is going to probably kill me tonight on the phone when I bring this up to him. I think our pitching staff as a whole overperformed up until now.
I agree.
They were all pitching out of their league.
I agree.
And it was wonderful. And we rode the wave. But if we're going to be a serious contender going into the All-Star break, we just got word that Manea has a setback. He's got floaties in his elbow. Canning just went down. Stengen's going to be a little bit more longer. McGill's down. I mean, we talked about having depth, but now we don't have depth. And you get a gem from Frankie Montas the other night, who looked like the second coming of freaking Satchel Paige. and our bullpen blows it up.
Well, that was going to be my point. You said, why are we struggling against the Braves? Well, look who beat us the other night. It was Olsen twice, the left-handed hitter, because we don't have a single lefty who can produce out of the bullpen. You're going to be in big trouble down the stretch if Schwarber and Harper and Olsen and all these left, Freeman, Otani, all these left-handed hitters, and you got no lefties in the bullpen that can stop that.
Harold, tell us, what did Alonso do? Please. Thank you. Give us an update on the score, buddy. Yeah. You know, Pete, the Minta injury was big because I thought Minta was going to be our horse, right? Our powerful lefty in key situations. He's come from the Braves. He's got a lot of history of pressure situations. He was pitching pretty well before his injury.
Oh, yeah. I was thrilled that we got him, but you had no backup plan behind him. There's not another lefty in that bullpen. What are you going to do in September without a lefty in the bullpen? Don't tell me Lovelady, that kid. That kid didn't have it.
Right. He got DFA'd along with the other guy. It was Castillo.
Yeah.
They both got DFA'd last night. You know, offensively, and not to discount your earlier statement offline, by the way, because our audience didn't hear you, Pete, because I didn't hit the live button. However, Pete feels our lineup is not long enough, and I can't disagree, especially now. You send Acuna down, Vientos is hurt, Alvarez was sent down, and we all in agreement with the Alvarez sent down. I mean, that kid had to get out of his own way, and he needs instructions on how to do that. I think he got too big, too fast, and you know, rode the rookie. They didn't have a book on him yet, and once they wrote the book on Alvarez, he couldn't hit the side of a barn, for God's sakes.
He only has one swing. He was over swinging for a home run on every pitch. He only has one swing.
And the night they sent him down, he hit a 450-foot bomb. Yeah. But then again, a blind squirrel finds his nuts every now and then, right?
There you go.
So, you know, hopefully we've got the comfortable lead, right? The Braves, depending on what we do tonight, they'll be 10 games back. We'll be either tied or a game up on the Phillies. And we have a moment. We have an opportunity to digest what we have in front of us. Let David Stearns work the wire, come up with some all-star trade deadline trades for us, maybe pull the trigger early. I certainly, Pete, I would love two lefties for the bullpen. I need another starter, and I need a bona fide center fielder. Not to take anything away from the kid Taylor, and he'll be very serviceable in left field. But we need a power-hitting, high-average, run-producing, defensive stellar player in center field for the New York Mets.
Absolutely right. Right now, Pete Alonso is exposed. There is no true protection behind him. And look at the numbers anyway. If you get true protection behind Alonso, I'm going to predict he wins the NL MVP. Look at the numbers. He's on pace for 130 RBIs right now. Get him protection, he'll drive in 150.
Well, I got news for you, Pete. And again, compliments of Kevalytics, and I try to get him come on the show, and he's a little camera shy. Anyway, he predicted before the June swoon for Soto, he predicted 35-115. And I told him, you're out of your mind, 35-115. Now Soto's on pace for 40-125, to be honest with you.
And Alonso is on pace for 135 RBIs as well, and almost 40 home runs. If you get one more power bat, put him behind Alonso, both Soto and Alonso go through the roof, and they're 1 and 2 in the balloting for NL MVP.
Well, from your lips to God's ears, and I know you got a hotline. Terry, what's going on, Terry? Back from Italy. Terry, when she was in Italy, dialed in at, I think you told me it was 2 a.m, Terry, just to make me intercontinental. So we appreciate you, Terry. We appreciate you,
Terry.
I can't believe that I had all these technical difficulties. I thought my computer was plugged in. It was not. So I was at 10%, so I had to plug in. I thought that's what was causing the audio and picture issues. And then I realized I never hit the go live. So I greatly apologize to the fans out there. I promise. Programming note, next week, Angie's Angles will be on air, but we might be from the confines of my my car. Bob and I are taking a little trip, and we're coming back Thursday, and I don't think I'll be home in time to make it live from the home base at Smoke Therapy. So if that's the case, I'll still be dialed in at 8:30, but it'll be via my little telephone driving on some interstate somewhere.
Do you keep driving, or does Barbara drive at that point?
No, I drive, my friend.
You keep driving while you do the show?
Yes, I do. I'm a maniac.
Could you imagine if it got pulled over and you're right in the middle of one of your things? And if you know what I mean. About,
yeah. I'd be like, officer, say a little hello to my audience. It reminds me about the time I was driving the wrong way down the one way. And the officer pulled me over. He said, son, didn't you see the arrows? I go, arrows? I didn't even see the Indians. But so there you got it.
Oh,
you went from my Angie's Angles.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Clark. Clark says, never mind the Mets. Angie was free falling. You're not kidding. You're not kidding, Clark. So, Pete, what do you got? What do you got that you want to jump on here? I understand you might have a trivia question for the audience.
I have a trivia question for the audience tonight, and I just found this out today. It's a very interesting question. So here's the question.
All right, bear with me before you do that. Disclaimer: nobody is allowed to use Google, whatever else device you use to answer the question.
Yeah, you can't Google it. You gotta look it up. You gotta figure it out yourself. Okay, no Googling. All right, so here's the question. What New York Met is the only player in Major League history to be traded for himself?
So does that mean he got traded and traded back?
That means he got traded to the Cleveland Indians for a player to be named later, and the player to be named later was himself.
Interesting.
Oh,
wow.
I'll give you a hint. It happened in the Mets' first year of existence, 1962.
Well, Pete, that was your time. I wasn't around yet.
Oh, you and I are the same age, fella.
Yes, I know, brother. I know.
Team in 10th grade.
That's funny. Wow. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna. All right, audience. Do we know an answer? Because I'm gonna throw one out there just off the back foot. I'm gonna go with Al Weiss.
No, and it is not Chico Escuela either, because baseball was very, very good to him.
Well, don't hold us up anymore.
It's not a name anybody would recognize. The guy's name was Harry Chiti, Chiti, and he was, in fact, in 1962, traded from the Mets to the Cleveland Indians for a player to be named later, and then he was the player to be named later, returned back to the Mets.
That's incredible. Pete from downtown. That's pretty good, Pete. We appreciate that, brother.
The only one in Major League history that ever happened. It officially says it in the Major League record book that it traded Harry Chiti for Harry Chiti.
That's incredible. So how long did the trade take to consummate? So did he land in Cleveland or caught a connector?
Did he just stay in the bus station? I'm not quite sure. Was it a one-way ticket or a two-way ticket? I don't know.
Knowing the Mets back in '62 or how they treated Kuzman, I think it was a one-way ticket.
So then afterwards, if you got cut and you got traded and you didn't know where you were going, you got chittied. Yeah, man, you just got chittied.
That's funny. We're at day 55, Mark. I'm sorry. This was an abbreviated Angie's Angles with Pete O'Shea because of my technical deficiencies, for lack of a better word. All right.
Before we do the prayer, can we do one more segment, or you want to go right into your prayer?
Yeah, no, go for it. Go for it.
All right. So last time I was on, we touched on this, but we got to really look at it more. You said too that we should try to make a trade now. I can't agree with you more. Do not wait for the deadline. Both the A's and the Rays are playing in minor league stadiums. They are cash deficient. The Rays are now about to be sold for 1.6 billion, which is far less than what the Lakers got, 10 billion. They are a depressed, economically challenged franchise, and so are the A's. If you are really Cohen and you are really Mr. Hedge Fund guy, you should be exploiting both of those teams and ripping off every good player from both of those teams. What are you waiting for? The fire sale is there. Go get them.
You know, I can't disagree, right? There are a lot of players out there. And again, I'll reiterate, even though we got Soto and that was fine for a large amount of Met fans, Kyle Tucker was out there for the taking, and we passed on Kyle Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
And as I predicted, he's having just an amazing season. He's staying healthy. He's hovering around 300, 18 or 19 home runs, X amount of RBIs. I mean, that was a guy, excuse me, who can he play center field? I don't know that question. Once you got Soto, was he out of the equation? But I wanted him before we got Soto. And then maybe we could have gotten a Crochet. Maybe we gotten a Flaherty. Maybe we got one of these guys that we needed to bolster the pitching staff.
There are teams like the Pirates, the Rays, the A's who are economically challenged. Go take advantage of that. Each of those teams has players worth getting. Kansas City's another team. Go get these guys. Fill in your roster. Fill in these holes by taking advantage of the haves versus have-nots scenario that is all over baseball right now. With the local TV markets, money getting shredded, and the teams now really separated in a have and a have-nots. What are you waiting for? The Dodgers take advantage of it like mad. When are you going to start doing
it? And you got the money, right?
Yeah.
The money's not the issue, Pete. But
exactly. So go.
At the same time, we don't have a bona fide everyday second baseman. Now you got Mauricio, you got Beatty, you got McNeil, Acuna when he comes back. So you have a myriad of players there. Shortstop was first was solid, short was solid, third was not solid.
Nope.
I mean, we had the opportunity to go get Bregman out. Now he got hurt, but hindsight's half part of the game. But he was having a phenomenal season. And I think we just pass on these players that have been proven to be success stories. And last year we went with the ragtag pitching staff. This year we went with the ragtag pitching staff, and it's coming back to bite us. I mean,
yeah.
Do we question the conditioning coaches on the team?
I have a theory on it, my friend.
Yeah.
I don't think that Cohen and Stern can coexist as a management team. The one guy is Billy Ball analytics with every dollar and every number and every this, and the other guy's the wild, crazy, shoot from the hip cowboy like Jerry Jones. They are two different management styles, and so you get one clunker, you get one high-paid guy, then you got to get one clunker, and this and that, back and forth. You see it. Whenever Cohen spends money, then Stern has to go do his analytic thing again, and we're seeing it over and over again.
Good night, Harold. Thanks for showing up. Sorry,
They don't mesh, those two guys.
It's when Stearns got hired, he was supposed to be total autonomy. Everything was under his control. But I firmly believe on the two fronts, on Alonso and Soto, that was all Cohen.
Absolutely.
I think that was 100% Cohen, and I'm glad that he got involved on the Pete side, I wasn't ecstatic he got involved on the Soto side. And here's another thing that I wanted to cover. Soto's negotiations reminded me when we were negotiating with A-Rod. And A-Rod, the thing that broke the deal with A-Rod is that he wanted to be the solo 24th guy on the team. He was not a team guy at all. Are you there, Pete?
Yeah, I'm here, buddy.
Yeah. So I think Soto got all these concessions: the private suite, taking the family room, taking care of his mom, the whole 9 yards, and that's good. That's all well and good to a point, because your next superstar agent's going to look for that and then some, right? Because that's the mindset of these millionaires and billionaires soon to be playing baseball. They're not playing it for the love of the game.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. Look what happened with the Red Sox with Devers, okay? You let this guy have an inch, he took a mile. You told me he didn't have to worry about this. He doesn't have to worry about nothing now. Get your glove and play first base. And I'm glad they ditched him. These superstars are getting too pampered, buddy. Way too pampered now.
I mean, they're getting, private suites on the road. They're getting this. They're getting that breaks up the dynamics of being a team, right?
Right.
You have to have that camaraderie. You got to all be on the level playing field in terms of the perks. Now, I'm not saying nobody else is allowed to use the family room other than the Soto family. I'm not saying that. But these guys make $1 gazillion, maybe have a METS suite where all the wives and the family and the kids are allowed to go to for the game. Don't have individual player suites.
But you're making a great point. How can this clubhouse be harmonious when Lindor's making $300 million, Nimmo's at $160, Soto's at $765, Alonso's at big money, and then everybody else? It's a big old sharp drop off. Look at the back half of the lineup. It's guys all on minimum contracts.
By the way, minimum contract is $1 million a year for the most part.
I understand that, but it's not comparable to $765 million.
No, but at the same token, Tyrone Taylor is not a Juan Soto, to be fair.
No, but I understand. But your point was it's hard for them to have good chemistry and camaraderie in a clubhouse when there's that huge of a disparaging in how much money guys are making.
And also the segregation of the perks.
Yes, exactly. That's ridiculous. And these guys know that. And listen, they have pride too, and they want to win and they want to play. So that's a big mistake that happens in the modern era. And you're absolutely right. That's all Cohen's doing. Stern must be rubbing his head every time Cohen does that stuff.
All right, Clark, take care. Thanks for bearing with us with Angie Rangle's technical difficulties. That was all on me tonight. All right. So Pete and I have talked about, once we get a little more fluid with my technical abilities, we're talking about expanding it another half an hour. So we're making an hour show. So Pete and I are working on some things. I got to sharpen up my pencil. I got to get these thumbnails and some video up on the screen that we could digest and dissect and talk about, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yes. Maybe take April and May's Soto stance and compare it to June's, as Pete eloquently said to nobody but me early in the evening. So, if I don't have self-deprecation, I have nothing, Pete.
That's right, buddy.
If I can't laugh at myself, I can't laugh at anything. All right. I'm sorry that we lost some. I knew you would like that, Mark Brooks. I know you want like a 24-hour marathon. And Pete, put this on your calendar. Harold Atkins actually suggested this at the trade deadline, that we should have the night before podcast going over potential trades, going through the rumor mill.
I like that idea. I'm in.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. And then perhaps even go live on draft day, not draft day, on trade day, and see what goes on. So you and I will connect.
I have something to tell you also that could be very exciting.
Yes.
There's an outside chance I'll be coming to New York at the end of August.
We'll have Pete O'Shea live in the studio, folks. Pete, you like chicken wings?
I certainly do.
I'll take you to the best chicken wing place known to mankind.
All right.
All right. You're going to have to let me know. We'll arrange that.
Yeah, it looks like the end of August I'm coming.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. With the prayer circle, we're praying for Harold and brother-in-law Frank, Dawn Squared. Scott Tobias, your wife and your mom. Linda, Grandma Stein, we're praying for your dad and yourself. Mark Brooks moved into his new crib. He's rocking the house. Congrats to you and your family, Mark, for surviving the awful, awful arson of your house. Kevin Elliott, I'm sure you're going to give me an earful tonight. We're praying for your health challenges. Kraus family, it was good to see you, James, at the ball field. JD's looking quite well. Clark, we're praying for your brother-in-law Brad and your sister Trish. Deb and Lee down in Maryland, we're praying for you guys. Marianne Bello, a dear, dear, dear high school friend. We're out in Las Vegas. We're praying for you and your mom. Larry Levy, we're praying for your wife Frida. She remains in remission with cancer. Mr. McGowan, sir, I'm going to come and see you, my friend. You got to drop the note. Let me know when. Big John, Smoke Therapy Lounge. Cousin Richie, Phil's Nona, Brother Angelo's friend Dave. Tom, we're praying for Paul and Janet. Positive news. Johnny Barbecue, your daughter, she recovers from her hand surgery. John Vitale, we're praying for your father-in-law John Canyon, your brother Frank. We're praying for Mike C's dad. We're praying for Ralph Sandoris and Ralph himself, who's going to be making an appearance. Ralph got a little ill. Spent about 3 weeks to a month in the hospital. He's good. We can't wait to see our buddy Ralph. We're praying for Vinny's mom, Kerry's aunt, and Pete. We're throwing out prayers for you and Shani and the family and the O'Shea family as you navigate this awful moving truck situation, as you reestablish your roots down in Florida. We're happy to have you on board, my brother.
I got a meeting tomorrow with the ghost of J. Edgar Hoover.
Don't mess with this guy. He's the real deal. Pete, I'm sorry for the hiccups in the beginning. You've been great. I appreciate your time.
But a lot of fun, buddy. I had a great time, and have a great vacation. You earned it. Have a fun time.
I appreciate you. This has been Angie's Angles with Pete O'Shea, coming to you live from Smoke Therapy, 215 Ronkonkoma Avenue, Ronkonkoma, New York. If you're ever in the neighborhood, stop by and say hi. I'll buy you a cigar. Good night.
Good night,
God bless.
everybody.
I love you.